Just a heads up to you folks sitting with a notebook and pen, Mishki, the new podcast here in Garage Logic Land, is now coming out twice a week, Wednesdays and Fridays. If you're in fact scribbling this down, Wednesday is kind of tough to spell. It's not like it sounds. You want to spell it W-E-N-Z, but that, of course, would be a mistake. Friday is spelled just like it sounds. You're going to be okay there, but Wednesday's a bugaboo. Let me tell you, people, just a pain in the patootie. Jeez, it's hard.
Consultant brings you...
Nope, start over. Josh Arnold.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's an investment consultant. Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic Podcast, number 1682, December 17th, 2025. 53 degrees on this day in 1939. More about that year in a moment. 17 below on two occasions, 1983, and just 2 years later, 1985. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
Hail you.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
1939. I can't imagine what it would be like if we had television. They might be going out of their minds. Daily records in 1939, high temperature records, were set on 6, 7, 8, and 9 of December. And also yesterday and today in 1939. Also in 1939, I believe on December 9th, we talked about this last week, that was the recorded last high in the 60s. On a calendar year. So 1939 was a very warm stretch in December. I don't know what the rest of the year looked like. I also have, speaking of that, a wonderful irony in the latest global warming story. I think it was last week. Archaeologists discovered 1,500-year-old reindeer traps and other artifacts melting out of the ice in Norway's mountains.
Come on.
You with me?
Yeah.
Did you say traps or tracks?
Traps.
Oh.
They blame global warming on the fact that they are now able to find these relics. Yet they hypothesize that the reason these things are there in the first place is because 1,500 years ago it was warm enough to live there and trap reindeers.
Laid first by Richard Royce.
Kids, we caught Ruda.
Not seeing the irony at all.
They're so blinded by their climate change ideology, they don't see the irony in their own story.
Awesome.
Wow.
That was from Steve Hartwig. Thank you, Steve. That's true. 1,500 years ago, we trapped reindeers right here.
Right.
And then today we're finding the traps, and people are quick to say, well, that's global warming. Well, then what the hell was happening 1,500 years ago?
Right.
May I ask a question?
Yes.
Words mean something.
They do.
So is the plural form of reindeer? Or is it reindeers like it?
You know what, Chris?
How many deer?
I don't know. I think I would just go with reindeer.
Look at them deers out there.
Yeah. And I have a chunk-kicking update. Please don't use my name if you mention this. Okay, I don't know why that would be the case. There's nothing untoward here. While driving on I-94, my 11-year-old daughter commented on a car to our left, asking about all the snow that accumulated behind the wheel. Her comment, I'd really like to kick that off. It would be so satisfying.
Nice.
She didn't even know what it was called, but instinctively knew it would give her great joy. Our car's sitting a heated to just above freezing garage, so all she knows is sand and no chunk-kicking satisfaction. I've been a GLer since my U of M days in the 90s. I remember hearing the Christmas lights prank for the first time. My kids now know it too. LOL, thanks for everything. I read this one because it's, I can't say the name. I read this one because it's important to get the children.
Get them hooked early.
Get them involved early. Now, here's a fellow, Mike. Yes,
All
Kenny.
right. Well, I'm hesitant to bring it up, but I've been giving a lot of thought recently, Joe, to the phenomenon known as "don't use my name," particularly with Chief.
Yeah, he's very famous for that.
And is it? And I'm asking GLers. I don't think I'm asking Joe. I'm asking you, the GLer. Is it shame? Is listening to GL the equivalent of in the 80s and 90s going behind the swinging doors in Schindler's to the adult
My gosh,
book?
The naughty
Kenny,
part?
I hope it's not that bad.
Well, why can't we use their name? I think it's shame. I think they're ashamed.
I've told you many times, if I'm walking down Summit Avenue in the deep heart of Crocus Hill, someone will walk by me, look around to make sure nobody hears them, and say, "I like your show."
and then keep moving.
Yeah, they
and
don't
break
want to
stride.
dwell on it.
Or
They
is this
can't
a-
admit to their friends.
Is this a household situation?
That too.
She can't know that I'm listening to Joe.
This fellow, Mike, writes about an asteroid-sized chunk, and he sent me a picture it looked like something dropped from space. Joe, the other day I pulled into a parking lot and parked next to this and needed to share. To put the size of this chunk in perspective, I put my size 10.5 shoe next to it. All I could think was, who was the lucky bastard who got to kick this chunk? And it was massive. It was massive.
Oh, it had already been
Yes, it was on the
removed.
ground mat. And finally, from Kenneth, chunk porn. Over the weekend,
Whoa.
I ended up with a double chunk hump. And he, too, sent me a picture. He had 2 stalactites hanging down, but they were separated by a space. His car formed 2 absolutely wonderful chunks. And finally, a chunk-kicking tragedy.
Oh no.
From John. I suffered a chunk-kicking tragedy yesterday. I got home and stood outside enjoying the beautiful weather. Wasn't yesterday gorgeous?
It was perfect.
Just wonderful.
For that day, yes.
I got home and stood outside enjoying the beautiful weather. It was at that time I noticed a beautiful chunk hanging on the front passenger side of my truck. It was a thing of beauty, reaching nearly all the way to the ground with grace and dignity. I stood there and admired the work of art hanging on my vehicle, knowing it was safely parked in my driveway, many miles from the occasionally crotchety, self-appointed mayor of GL. I desired to enjoy the chunk for a while longer. I had every intention of returning to my chunk in very short order, and when I was struck with a true Minnesotan tragedy. In my absolute horror, I watched as my chunk, which had to weigh nearly 15 pounds, fell to the ground. Ooh. It was akin to a fine piece of art self-destructing in front of me. I felt like I missed my shot. Heed my warning, GLers. Take the chunk opportunity when you have it. You never know when you'll miss your shot. Until the next snowfall, hail the flashlight king.
Hail you.
Well, that was pathetic.
Well,
But
you
Joe,
threw us a curve there right in the end.
Couldn't that be the equivalent of you've really seen something special?
Yes.
You actually witnessed a chunk fall on its own. It's
It
like
will
Northern
be-
Lights or
it
a shooting star.
It will be in his repertoire of chunk stories throughout his life. Yes.
The one that got away.
I feel that I have missed a lot of news because of our great shows Friday with Stephen C. and Pat Donahue and Jillian, and Monday we had Jeff Dayton, and I really want to get through this. I'm sorry, we're returning to life outside Gumption County.
Yes, we should.
And I'm just going to go through them. We learned, for example, today that a Minnesota superintendent who once opened the school year by urging teachers and staff to examine their own whiteness is leaving her position on December 8. Rhoda Mirapiri Reed, Hopkins Public School super, posted on her superintendent blog, after 9 years in this role, I feel it's time to pass the torch of leadership. So she's not going to renew her contract when it ends in June. So it's the super club. She probably got a better gig. In the blog, Mira Piri Reed goes on to explain that part of her next chapter will being fully present as a mother. Oh, and notes that you'll see me in my community as my daughter, class of 2030, prepares to graduate from Hopkins High School. We're getting to the point here. She doesn't mention that her son graduates in spring as part of the class of 2026. Her school district's profile still says her children are both Hopkins scholars. However, Alpha News learned that Mira Ipari-Reed pulled her son out of the Hopkins School District and sent him to an elite private school in Florida.
Not even in the same state?
Like many families, my husband and I make educational and extracurricular decisions based on the individual needs and goals of each of our children. One of my kids continues to attend Hopkins Public Schools, but the other kid, we made a private family decision to support his specific athletic goals, pursuing opportunities that are not available in Minnesota's colder climate. This decision does not reflect on the quality of Hopkins schools. Okay. Well, lady, you're a hypocrite. And I guess the kid, maybe he's a great baseball player, a golfer or something, but we couldn't fulfill those obligations here.
To pull him in the middle of his senior year?
No, I think he started school down there.
Okay.
May I have a Illhan Omar update?
Here is your latest Illhan Omar report on Garage Logic.
Well, first, we discovered that Illhan Omar is praising Australia for its gun control laws that did not stop the attack on Bondi Beach. So I don't know what her point was. She praised Australia for its strict gun control laws, but that didn't stop any carnage in Australia. So I have no idea what she's trying to refer to. That's only the beginning of the Illhan Omar update. I don't want to be this guy, but I am this guy, so I'll do it. I like Esme Murphy. She's got a skill set. She's been around a long time. She knows what she's doing. But she had an interview with Illhan Omar on Sunday. And it's my suspicion, I think well-founded, that Illhan Omar is only going to appear with local news gatherers who she knows will not disrupt her.
Mostly Channel 4 or CCO.
She knows that she will not be questioned. And sure enough, Esme threw some delicious, fluffy white softballs, and Illhan Omar batted them out of the park. The reason I'm saying this, Esme, and God love you, I've probably met you over the years. As I say, you're a longtime professional. But you did not serve the public. And we only have a handful, if that, of people that Illhan Omar would agree to talk to. And I know this is easy for me to say, Esme, because I'm not in your shoes, but you needed to make a decision that once you were done with that Sunday appearance, you were going to become comfortable with her never appearing with you again, because that's the price you would have paid for being reasonably confrontational. You didn't ask her anything important. She is at the center of the biggest news story in the country right now, which is the fraud taking place in Minnesota. You didn't ask her about her extraordinary net worth. You didn't ask her why she was angry at certain clans, words that she used, who didn't vote for Omar Fateh. You didn't ask her anything that would have helped the public get to the bottom of this quite possibly very corrupt individual. In fact, and you were obsequious, let's face it. At one point, you sat by and allowed Omar to pretend she was actually a concerned mother by insisting that her son, meaning Omar's son, was pulled over by ICE, and that Illhan mimicked the concerns of a mother, which is justifiable. She said, I called and called trying to find him, but he was pulled over by ICE. And today we get the news from DHS that the child was never pulled over by ICE. At the time I heard that, I thought that was affectation on Illhan's part, and I bet myself that her kid was never going to be in a position where he could have been pulled over by ICE. All right. The Department of Homeland Security is refuting claims by Omar that federal U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents pulled her son over while he was running errands. What we know, speaking with WCCO Sunday morning, Representative Omar told Esme Murphy that yesterday, after he made a stop at Target, he got pulled over by ICE, and once he was able to produce his passport ID, they let him go. The comments sparked concern from fellow lawmakers and Minnesotans alike amid the ongoing federal immigration enforcement raid throughout the Twin Cities. However, since the comments, DHS has officially contradicted Representative Omar's statement, saying in part that agents have zero record of such an incident and such accusations demonizing ICE as part of a PR stunt. Esme, you'll get another chance with Illhan because you did nothing to upset her Sunday. But I think you owe it, given your long career, and a very good career it's been. You owe it to the public to shoulder the burden of, I'm being very serious, of being one of the people who this woman will talk to. And if you get another chance, you can't get by with this nonsense that you got by with Sunday. This woman is a lightning rod. She's a firecracker. Light the fuse, Esme, and see where that ends up. Because what you did Sunday, I can't even think of anybody else right now. Will she even go on with Hauser right now? I know she has.
She has in the past. I don't know.
Hauser is very trustworthy. I don't know that she'll even go on with. But Esme, you might have another chance. Well, don't blow it.
Yeah.
Represent us, please. That's the function of
Why
the
is
fifth
everyone
estate.
so afraid of her?
I would include her news director over there.
And again, Esme, I said that's easy for me to say. You got to get your paycheck. I know that, but take a stance.
She might very well be doing what she's told.
I'm sure that could be the case, but
Because didn't we find that very thing out with Liz Collin?
yes,
There were certain things they were not allowed to discuss at that station?
Esme, I'm saying we need your help. There's no one in the Twin Cities. She won't come on this show. That's just not going to happen.
Right.
So she's not going to put herself in the presence of anybody in Minnesota who will try to get to the bottom of what might very well be a highly, highly corrupt congresswoman.
Allegedly.
And you provided us nothing, and I wish you would have.
The wording of the Homeland Security post is worth reading the whole thing, Joe. It's not long. And then
I did read the whole thing.
no, you
I read as much as Fox 9 printed.
Let me give you what it said,
All right.
starting at the beginning. This part you read. ICE has absolutely zero record of its officers or agents pulling over Congresswoman Omar's son with no evidence. It is shameful that Congresswoman Omar would level accusations to demonize ICE as part of a PR stunt. Allegations that ICE engages in racial profiling are disgusting, reckless, and categorically false. What makes someone a target for immigration enforcement is if they are illegally in the U.S., not their skin color, race, or ethnicity. Under the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, DHS law enforcement uses reasonable suspicion to make arrests.
Something
And
else,
then-
that's great, and it's accurate. And something else you should know, Esme, please, and you must know it. Illhan Omar would stab you in the heart and hide you in a freezer if it would benefit her.
In a second, yeah.
So you were unnecessarily charitable. I'm not saying you had to be mean-spirited. I'm not saying you couldn't have been civil. Of course you are. You're very capable of all of that. You're a long-time pro. You failed us, period. You failed us.
And I just want to get in one more thing. It was Omar's reaction to what ICE just said. And this didn't come from her. It came from her office. But it's laughable and disgusting. The quote here, ICE has, and this is from Omar's office, ICE has long operated as a rogue agency beyond reform. It's no surprise that an agency known for disappearing people also can't keep its records straight, the spokesman said. ICE now claims it has records of all the stops, and our office would welcome the opportunity to review them. So they're going back and forth.
Well, they're doubling down on Illhan Omar's lie.
Yeah. Correct.
And Esme, the reason Illhan won't go on with anyone is that would interrupt her plans to take over the city, which I no longer think is hyperbole. She is not to be trusted. Today's new frauds. We don't even have an update for that. American experiment. Minnesota is pausing licenses for new adult daycare centers because of fraud concerns. An extraordinary sentence appears later in the article. I think this is our friend Bill Glahn. The capacity of the day centers far exceeds the number of people with disabilities and older adults who use the services in Minnesota. Over the past 5 years, the licensed capacity for adult daycares has climbed 43%, while there has only been a 7% increase in participants, said temporary DHS Commissioner Shireen Gandhi. She said there's almost 3,000 more available daycare center spots than there are people in need of such spots. If there are thousands of slots in excess of demand, why are there applications for new providers? And if there is a massive overcapacity, why does the moratorium not begin until Feb 1 of 2026? That's today's fraud number one, but let's also look at Minnesota's Department of Human Services issued a temporary licensing moratorium for the new adult daycare centers. We just did that. We're learning that. What they're afraid of is the DHS plans to use staff who help process licenses to now help with current program oversight. It is a critical blow to a vital service for Minnesota seniors by ignoring the fastest growing segment of our state's population, according to a group called Leading Age Minnesota. Citing fraud prevention and federal enrollment directives as cover for this pause is disingenuous. Oversight should strengthen the services, not block access to them. Rookie, look up Leading Age. Leading age is one word with capital leading and capital age. Not capital letters, but leading is capitalized, age is capitalized. So God help the people of Minnesota trying to understand how many people have their fingers on the taxpayers' money. What in God's name is, in other words...
3001 Broad. Okay, they're in Minneapolis.
Well, when you have something, read it to me. Leading Age Minnesota represents organizations that help older adults in Minnesota. You see what I mean when I talk about the redundancy we face in all of these numerous programs? What in God's name is Leading Age Minnesota? And here they are. They're complaining, just like the food fraudsters did. They're complaining about a stop in money.
Where's our cash? Who we serve? They serve 1,350 organizations, 225 business partners, and they serve 53,000 seniors per day.
Then how come the capacity?
We don't know that.
How come the capacity for helping seniors who need housing is way more than the seniors who need housing?
Great. Okay, here we go. Leading Age Minnesota network of mission-driven organizations serving older adults in all the places they call home. advocacy, leadership, education, and events. Do you want to meet the team?
No.
Okay.
DHS Inspector General James Clark shared the fraud investigators are looking into tips regarding allegations of financial kickbacks being offered by some providers to lure people to their business. Kickbacks are a sign that there's an oversaturation of providers. When there is not a way to drum up legitimate business, providers try to drum up illegitimate business by potentially paying recipients to come to do business with them, Clark said. 5 Eyewitness News followed back with DHS to see if they could provide details about how many providers are being investigated. DHS data shows that a total of 187 providers in the state who help more than 6,500 adults who have functional impairments. I don't know how many of the 187 providers are being examined for fraud. Meantime, to finish this current daily fraud update, we learn that, and this too is from John Phelan at the American Experiment, a website you should check every day. The epidemic of fraud perpetrated against Minnesota taxpayers under the Walz administration is a big issue. As I noted yesterday, a KSTP poll released Friday asked, do you think that fraud in state programs is the biggest problem in Minnesota? 79%, which is a very healthy outcome. 79% says it's either the biggest problem in Minnesota or certainly a major problem. KSTP asks, has Governor Tim Walz done enough to stop the fraud in Minnesota? 14% said that he's done enough. 69% say he needs to do more. Given that the DFL has held 2 out of 3 of the governor's mansion, state senate, state house every year since 2019, this reflects badly in the party. In a brave attempt to convince Minnesotans that they are wrong, under fire DFL Chair Richard Careborn tweeted, what Minneapolis DFL elected officials have done to fight fraud. And then the obvious point to make is that none of this has worked. Fraudsters in Minnesota were still able to make off with billions. We are now in billions of taxpayer dollars. The success or failure of these measures would not be judged by their intentions, but by their results. So the head of the DFL said, look what we're doing. Well, it doesn't work. You're not accomplishing anything. And that's why a new administration has to completely revamp the way this state takes care of people. Mm. The state certainly is going to be taking care of people, but right now they're taking way more care of people than there are people.
This is fraud whack-a-mole is what this is.
Really
you shut one down and you get 2 more popping up.
Well, do you remember you're on Highway 62 heading toward 35? You know where 110 cycle is, or Bames cycle. It's on the right if you're on 62.
Yes.
And next to it, there is a building that used to be a daycare center owned by Somalis, which was always empty.
Yeah.
Now it's an adult daycare center.
Always empty?
Always empty.
Yeah. It's, we're getting fleeced daily. It's another reason I had to have those words with you, Esme. We're just, because you can't tell me that she's not involved. Take care of your garage door. Fall and winter are here. Well, forget fall. Winter's here. If you need a new garage door, there's still time before that 30 below stuff kicks in. Call Precision Door MN or email them. They have models of doors for every budget. They send out a designer. It's $100 off a single door right now for GLers, $200 off a double door. If you like your current door, but she's making a little sound, she's reaching out to you and she's saying, homeowner, help me, help me. You can book
I didn't know they could talk.
Yes, you can book a noisy door tune-up special for $149. Get that baby analyzed. There's a 25-point safety inspection. Learn what troubles could be on the horizon. Take care of it now before that garage door will not open. Book online at Precision Door MN, one word, precisiondoormn.com, or call 612-263-6985 to schedule your free on-site new door estimate, or book a Precision Door noisy door tune-up special.
We'll get to some national, international stuff in a minute. Before we do, I got to tell you about something, boy. I love it. We've had it in my house now for, I think, about 3 months. And it makes a great Christmas gift. You might be one of those people, you put off your Christmas shopping to the last minute, end up maybe buying a gift card. Well, this year, I can take care of that issue for you. Get yourself an Aura frame. My wife and I took our favorite photos and videos, loaded them all into the new Aura frame. Right now, that's about 750 items, and I guarantee we're going to have a lot of new pictures to add once this Christmas season is over. And it's really, really easy to use.
John, can you download them from your phone?
Just from your phone, exactly. So I had all those pictures on my phone. I got the Aura frame, and I just started hitting boom, boom, boom.
Yes, yes.
All you have to do is download the Aura app and connect it to Wi-Fi and start adding pictures. It's really easy to use. Chris, if I may use your favorite word, it literally took just a couple of minutes to set it up.
I know someone that just recently purchased this, and that person is so thrilled and really thinks that person has cheated Christmas because it's such a wonderful gift that there's no more worry.
I've taken care of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't name you, but okay.
The other thing is, it's, we've all had picture frames in the past, and they're kind of weird, cloudy, not great. It looks like the actual photos in front of you. The screen is gorgeous. It's perfect. It's easy to do. For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off of Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. All you have to do is use the promo code GL at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code GL. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You can wrap togetherness, but you can't frame it. Aura Frames.
Hey.
Reavers here once again for my guy, Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Does thinking about retirement make you uncomfortable? Well, sometimes the anxiety from wondering if you've saved enough can be overwhelming. But what if I told you that you could ease those tensions in just 48 minutes? Well, Mr. Money Talk is going to be able to sit down with you and get you on the right track for your financial future. Josh has navigated it all when it comes to uncertain market and economic conditions, and he'll always provide straight talk, never sugar-coated advice on how to reach the finish line with your retirement goals. Don't let your financial worries give you an ulcer or keep you from calling Josh right now. His 48-minute, no-obligation consultation could be just what you need to feel better about your future. Call Josh today at 952-925-5608 and set up your free 48-minute, no-obligation consultation. That's 952-925-5608.
Investment services offered by Josh Arnold Investment Consultant, LLC, a security investment advisor. Past performance is no guarantee of future results. All investments involve risk. All comments and opinions are Josh Arnold's and do not constitute investment advice.
Chris Reavers is a paid endorser.
The Earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's from our partners at CustomRoasting.net. I've got great news, and it's just in time for Christmas. It's the Christmas Cookie Blend. It's a mix of graham cracker, vanilla, hazelnut, and warm cinnamon. I actually gave it a sampling and have decided that it's going to be perfect for the family on Christmas Day. And knowing the roommate as I do, she likes to pull a cork, bend an elbow, if you know what I'm saying. I guarantee that she'll be spiking this with, I think it's called rum chata.
Yeah.
Or Irish cream. Yeah, she's good at spiking things, and I think this will be perfect. CustomRoasting.net, they also have a big old batch of Sumatra beans that Steven, the head roaster, can get roasted and bag up and ship to you today. I've also sampled that, and I have to say it is the perfect dark roast, and it does compete with French roast if you love dark roasts. Do yourself a favor, order some Sumatra today, and don't forget the custom roasting gift box. We're talking 2 of their best-selling coffees, the Minnesota Morning Blend and the French Roast, paired nicely in a craft gift box, all ready for shipping. Go to customroasting.net, get on the internet, spread some good cheer with the gift of coffee for, I don't know, yourself, your friends, and your family. Merry Christmas from customroasting.net.
Let's turn to the Ellison family. Keith, the father, is Minnesota's Attorney General, and his son, Jeremiah, is a Minneapolis City Councilman in absentia. In absentia. He's not here.
Yeah. He gone.
We now know that Keith has settled has announced a settlement with Kia and Hyundai cars, because Kia and Hyundai cars were stolen more frequently. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot another fraud. I'll have to come back to it. There was one more fraud in today's fraud update. Keith has announced that Kia and Hyundai owners they'll have a year to do this, go to the dealer, and apparently their ignition switches will be switched over to some sort of anti-theft technology. And I had a number of thoughts about this story. One, we've already covered it. This is the soft bigotry of low expectations. He continues to refuse to blame anyone for stealing a car. It must be the car's fault. And it's hard for me to believe that Kia and Hyundai designed cars knowing that they were more easily stolen than other cars. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe that saved them 69 cents a car. I don't know. But in any event, you can now get your car fixed, and Hyundai and Kia will take care of that. I had a number of thoughts when for example, I saw this on the 10 o'clock news last night, and one of the women interviewed has had her car stolen 11 times.
What?
And I just thought, well, fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame.
Right.
Shame on you.
After the third time.
Fool me twice.
We're not going to get fooled again.
We can't get fooled again. Well, at some point, I'm taking some measures to prevent my car from being stolen, which apparently this woman did not. Now, I'm not blaming the victim. I'm just saying, in GL, your cars aren't getting stolen. A, you have some car consciousness, and B, you might be aware of just where you leave your car in the evening. You might take precautions. You don't want your car stolen.
Right. I'm going to try very hard not to get it stolen.
Here's the other stat I love, and I don't know that it could be obtained. How many stolen Kias and Hyundais were stolen because the doors were left unlocked? I'd like to know that.
Key stat.
That would be very interesting. And beyond that, I just don't like living in a state. Well, this state is so ruined and corrupted now. It's eerie to live in a state where we're going to blame inanimate objects for crime. Kias and Hyundais, if these kids are so smart, they're just picking low-hanging fruit. Why aren't they stealing Jags and Porsches? You can't tell me these kids couldn't figure that out. Well, and then Keith could go to Porsche and say, you're designing cars that are easy to steal. We want you to do something about it. But this is low-hanging fruit. For some reason, Kias and Hyundais are stolen more frequently than other makes of cars. How many are unlocked when they're stolen? And B, how many have been stolen multiple times? And the answer is many. Many of the people that were interviewed in this brief story I saw, their car has been stolen 3, 4, 6 times, 11 times, whatever. Well, at some point, you're a moron.
So I was going to ask you that, because the piece I just looked at, are they bringing it back after they steal it?
Well, it's found and then returned, and then
joyride.
Depending on the damage, I guess the car's kept. Then it's stolen again, and depending on the damage, the car's kept. Then it's stolen again, and now it's finally trash. You got to get another one, and then these morons buy the same kind of car.
They have a route.
The lady that got stolen 11 times finally stopped buying a Hyundai.
There it is.
Or a Kia, whatever she was driving, and tried another model. Lady, I'm sorry. It's not fun. I get it, but you're showing me nothing. What are you thinking? So, anyway, Keith is taking care of that. He had some time between meeting with Food Frosters, and he got a hold of Hyundai and Kia.
He's on the job.
Now let's turn to his son, Jeremiah, who is running a really sweet scam right now. He's at Harvard pretending he's actually doing something in a fellowship while he's also getting his city council pay. It's insidious. It doesn't happen in a world where public figures have character. He shows me he has no character. He has no qualms about taking your money while he's not here.
Right.
He's at Harvard in one of these made-up failed academies deal that where city council people from all over the country can go and get a certificate that says they completed a course in activism or whatever the hell they're doing.
Why anybody would want that from him is beyond me. He's still wet behind the ears.
I'm sure he applied for it. But the latest is that in five Eyewitness News right downstairs from us, they've investigated internal emails, revealing that now he's outgoing city council member, by the way. He will be replaced.
His work has been done.
But he's got enough scam money to get him through the next couple of winters. But Jeremiah has asked through his aide to use city funds to pay for flights between Harvard and Minneapolis so that he can attend city council meetings twice a month.
He makes $167,000 a year.
That in itself is outrageous.
Jeremiah does?
110 from the city, 57 from Harvard.
The emails, which have not been reported, were recently released through a public records request. They give a behind-the-scenes look at a tumultuous time in the city council that is still frustrating some constituents. The city clerk ultimately denied the request, and in a text message, Ellison called this report flimsy and a non-story. No, Jeremiah, you have no character whatsoever. You obviously were asking for your flights to be paid for. This is our friend Jay Coles broke the story this summer when Ellison accepted a fellowship at Harvard that required him to move. Ellison long maintained, well, I can do both. He didn't want to give up the money.
Right. He was no dummy. He floated that trial balloon.
I can do both, and that he's still working full-time from afar, which is preposterous. But his decision caught some on the council off guard. I always have maintained, because they didn't think of the Harvard scam before he did. He cannot effectively helicopter in once in a while to vote on important city issues. Linnea Palmisano said Ellison still earns his $110 on top of the $57 stipend he gets for this fake deal at Harvard. And now 5 Investigates obtains these internal emails from July showing Ellison's office requested the Ward 5 budget cover his travel expenses, specifically round-trip travel between Minneapolis and Boston. God help us, please. So he could attend city council meetings every other week. In response to that request from Ellison, the city clerk acknowledged the prestigious program at Harvard, but said that's a personal, professional development opportunity, and travel for this purpose is not allowed. So we should be grateful for a city clerk who had some character and said, no, you're not getting
Hold up.
Yet let us not forget that Jeremiah was one of the chief proprietors of Defund the Police.
Right.
So that budget shouldn't go for cops. It should go for my flights to Boston and back.
Then this story quotes, a 5 Eyewitness story, quotes a woman named Kim Smith, who's an Ellison constituent in Ward 5. She said, as a retired math teacher, I can't imagine asking my students to pay for me to commute to and from school. We are his constituents. Smith's neighbor, Eva Young, was relieved to hear it didn't go through. I'm also glad that the city rejected that request, so it does show that their financial guardrails worked, Young said. Well, Eva, you're a...
know that.
They occasionally work by accident, I think.
Yeah.
Back in September, the council reassigned committees that Ellison was on to other members because of his absences. But he said, you'll certainly see me at council meetings, barring some kind of emergency.
Oh, interesting.
Ellison said to...
How many?
You'll certainly see me at full council. He told that to Eric Shalou. But a review of council attendance records shows he's missed 5 of the 11 meetings ever since he accepted the Harvard Fellowship. Well, because he was probably too cheap to pay for his own plane tickets to come back here.
You'll see me at some meetings.
Ellison's term ends in January. Rookie, look up who will be the new Ward 5 representative in Minneapolis. The name is escaping me. In a string of text messages to 5 Eyewitness News, Ellison called this report a hit piece. Well, in a sense, it was, Jeremiah, and it's one that you needed to have, that we needed to have.
Pearl Warren.
All right, now look her up, but don't talk to me until you find something.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Pearl.
And he refused to do an interview unless 5 investigates proved it was somehow in the public's interest. Well, Jeremiah,
right
my tax dollars are mine. That constitutes the public interest.
Yeah.
And your constituents' tax dollars are theirs. It's in their tremendous and significant interest to know how their money is being spent. You lack of character buffoon.
I'm surprised he didn't accuse Channel 5 of racism.
Tanitha Pearl Warren is a proud, lifelong resident of Minneapolis, having lived both North and South Minneapolis for over 40 years with their father, Meyer Warren Sr., and mother, the late Dr. Elder Yvette D. House, and 5 siblings. She's the proud mother of 6, grandmother to 6. Pearl is a homemaker, entrepreneur, published author, and a celebrated world-renowned spoken word artist with a well-established reputation across the Twin Cities. Passionate about helping others succeed, she thrives in community, always seeking ways to be resourceful and supportive to those around her.
Not only can she not be worse than Ellison, I'm just going to bet that she'll be better than Ellison.
Empowerment, equality, impact.
Well, a lot of words there that shouldn't be used.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I heard the name Pearl.
Yeah, I like
Really
that name.
is.
Mm-hmm. Jeremiah Ellison also appeared to defend the travel request, saying it's travel between his urban planning education and his urban planning relevant job. No, Jeremiah, you haven't fooled anybody, and most gratefully, you didn't fool the city clerk. You have an absolute lack of character. Maybe the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I wonder what he's planning with this career of his. How is he next going to belly up to the taxpayer teeth?
Oh, there'll be ways, Kenny.
He'll be on the third rail. We know that.
Yeah, that's outrageous that fellow would have expected some hard-working guy on the north side who was just trying to keep afloat and isn't making $167,000 a year to pay for his travel expenses. Well, no matter where you look, nationally, regionally, locally, we have a tremendous dearth of character in those who represent us. Yes, I did say nationally. Dearth of character. It's just a shame. We live in strange times.
That means lack of character for those of you listening in Douglas County, my friends. My peeps.
Christmas is around the corner. The best shop I know to shop for Christmas is the most fun place to shop, and that's EcoFun Motorsports. in Forest Lake/Columbus. It's right on 97, immediately west of 35. EcoFun Motorsports. Listen to this Christmas sale. Free 16-inch electric bike for kids or grandkids. That's an $800 value. When you buy any e-bike, ATV, youth ATV, dirt bike, golf cart, wave runner, motorcycle, or scooter, that's amazing. Step through electric bikes, $18.99 on sale for $8.99. Get the free e-bike for the kid. ATVs with 50-inch snowplow on sale for $58.99. Plus, you qualify for the free 16-inch e-bike for the kid. Yamaha generators in stock, not to mention pre-owned Yamaha and Ski-Doo snowmobiles in stock, ready to hit the trails this weekend. It looks like it's going to be a great winter for outdoor recreational equipment, and EcoFun Motorsports has you covered, especially with this great Christmas sale. EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake/Columbus, immediately west of Interstate 35 on Highway 97, and down in Burnsville on the Service Road of Life near County Road 42. I need to establish that. Is it on County Road 42, I wonder? I bet it is, because, no, there's a service road for County Road 42. Well, you'll find it. It's EcoFun Motorsports in Burnsville, too. And a great website, ecofunmotorsports.com.
For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off of Aura's best-selling Carver mat frames, named #1 by Wirecutter. All you have to do is use the promo code GL at checkout. That's AURAFrames.com, promo code GL. This deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. You can wrap togetherness, but you can't frame it. Aura Frames.
Hey.
Football season is rolling along, and Underdog is the best place to get in on all the action. It's so easy to play on Underdog. All you have to do is pick whether your favorite player will go higher or lower on stats like rushing yards, touchdowns, and a lot more. You get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I think I'm going to go with Matthew Stafford to go higher on yards thrown for. He's been hitting the number pretty much every week lately. Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-8778-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Here's a man who spends hours in hardware stores, sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
During the break, we were just talking about fine dining, and nothing is better with fine dining than the great quality water that you'll get from Hofferman Water and Connecticut. And you know what? Do what I did. Start out as a customer. That's how this relationship started years ago, and they have made an amazing difference in the quality of my water, courtesy of my water treatment systems, the water softener, and also the drinking water system I had installed inside my home. It has done an amazing job of upgrading the quality of my water. Your first step, however, is you have to get on that schedule, and you have to have them come out for that free water analysis. You do that one of two ways. Call them directly at 612-895-2440, or you can also book your appointment online at hoffermanwater.com. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer. And when they come out, they're going to give you this thing that's called a water score. And then based upon that water score, they will give you recommendations on how they can upgrade the quality of water inside of your home. It's really important to do, especially this time of the year. We're entertaining. We're having people over. We're having a laugh. HoffermanWater.com or 612-895-2440. They have been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them on the Garage Logic podcast.
Well, it's awesome to hear Chris doing an ad while we're all looking at Gabe.
John, before you start, I just have an addendum to the fraud update for today. Mm-hmm. The U.S. Department of Labor announced that it will review Minnesota's unemployment insurance program after widespread fraud was found in all the other programs. The department said it will be using an on-site specialized strike team to review all unemployment insurance benefits. In a letter to the Department of Employment and Economic Development, that's what Steve Grode have headed up before he went to the Star Tribune to make sure they took care of walls. The federal agency requested critical documents be provided to the strike team. 5 Eyewitness News has reached out to DEED, the Department of Employment and Economic Development, for more information and got the following reply. As evidenced by the U.S. Department of Labor's own data, Minnesota unemployment insurance routinely exceeds metrics for payment accuracy and has a fraud rate well below the national average. So we have a good fraud rate in this one.
Oh.
Unemployment insurance is a federal-state partnership. The unemployment insurance program in Minnesota, like all UI programs in all other states, periodically engages in in-depth reviews as a normal part of oversight. We welcome the opportunity to illustrate the strength of our payment controls and oversight. Thank you very much. Here's John Heidt.
Well, wait a minute. Haven't people been lying about their unemployment status and what they've been doing during their unemployment for decades and years and centuries and eons?
Yes.
Yeah. I would think that would be number one at the top of the list.
Yeah. Are we getting to the point, too?
Hello?
Are we getting to the point where we should just be alerted when there's not fraud associated with a government agency?
It should have been a headline that the city clerk in Minneapolis refused to pay Jeremiah Ellison's travel expenses.
You're right. Yeah.
Here's Mr. John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Banking Company, a sports/business announcement to open things up. Remember last year, the Pohlad family, owners of the Twins, announced they were putting the team on the market, but then they ended all that in August when the family said they had gained a capital infusion from minority investors and would continue to run the franchise. Well, we now know as of this morning who those minority investors are. New York-based private investment firm Glick Family Investments and George G. Hicks, co-executive chair of multinational credit specialist Vardy Partners, are getting on board as principal investors. Craig Leopold, majority owner of the Minnesota Wild, is joining as a limited partner. The Pohlad family will maintain a controlling stake, though they announced some changes to the club's leadership structure pending the approval of Major League Baseball. Tom Pohlad, the current executive chair of Pohlad Companies, will succeed his brother, Joe Pohlad, as the baseball team's executive chair and replace his uncle, Jim Pohlad, as the primary liaison to Major League Baseball. Jim Pohlad had handed over day-to-day operations to Joe Pohlad before the 2023 season.
What that tells me is that they must sense that the team will continue to increase in value. In other words, they're betting that the value of a professional baseball club in this country will continue to increase. Otherwise, what's in it for them other than that?
Also worth pointing out, hell of a run you had there, Joe Pohlad.
I didn't even know there was a Tom Pohlad.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Is that Joe's brother, John?
Older brother.
Yeah.
Older brother.
Was he the one that was featured on TV this morning on stage?
I don't know. I didn't
walking around like
any TV.
I don't know, Kenny. I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
All right.
Kenny,
Thank you
I
for
didn't
holding
see
back.
it either.
Thanks for holding
Am I the only one that pays attention to news on this station?
I don't watch morning television. I read the paper.
Well, then you're missing Megan Newquist.
Yeah, I guess I'll be all right.
Is that the same kind of daytime TV that gives you anxiety?
Yes.
More so than the price.
I can't watch game shows.
I know you can't.
So
Back to the Twins, though. Does this give you hope, John and Chris? Does this give you hope? I don't see this ending well.
Oh, I see it ending well. These guys aren't going to waste their money.
The fact that Leopold got involved gives credence to what Joe just said.
Yeah.
Leopold's no dummy.
Yeah, that's the only aspect of this that I think might result in it ending okay.
By the way, Leopold's got a hockey club that should be taken very seriously.
God, isn't this fun?
That's all I'm saying.
Don't you dare.
I'm not. I'm just saying they should be taken very seriously.
I'm really enjoying what's going on here. This has been fun.
If you haven't been following, since we're talking sports, the Twins did make a free agent signing the other day. Mm-hmm. Josh Bell. Mm-hmm. So
who's not a superstar, but is he better than average?
He's a guy. Yeah,
he'll hit you 20 home runs.
Sure.
All right.
240, 20 home runs.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. In news, the latest KSTP Survey USA poll, we have these now for about 3 days in a row because they just release different topics every day, what they've surveyed on. They show, yesterday it was fraud. We talked about that. And you talked about it today also, Joe. Today, they are talking about approval ratings for President Trump and Governor Walz. The new KSTP Survey USA poll shows President Trump has a 42% approval rating in Minnesota with 55% disapproval. That 13-point difference is 6 points worse than the last survey 3 months ago. Trump retains the approval of 89% of Republicans, but just 35% of independents. The president's approval is bogged down by just a 43% approval of his handling of the economy. Governor Walz doesn't fare much better in the survey. For the second time in a row, he's at 48% approval, 48% disapproval. Those ratings are his lowest in the 20 times that he's been surveyed by this survey in the last 4 years. He's seeking, of course, an unprecedented third four-year term as governor of Minnesota. The Walz approval numbers are weighed down by just 14% who say he's done enough to stop state government fraud.
It's stunning to me that almost half polled still think he's doing a good job.
That's exactly
it's
what
stunning to me.
That's exactly what I was going to ask. That it should be way lower than that.
No, really?
Well,
it should be zero.
Well, I'm agreeing with you. But what that tells me is if we don't, or if the Republican Party doesn't get their act together, he's going to win again.
Okay, stop right there, John. With that in mind, I want you to read what you said about President Trump's numbers. Just start it over. Read me everything because I'm looking for a certain figure you gave us.
President Trump has a 42% approval rating in Minnesota, 55% disapproval. That's 6 points worse than his last survey 3 months ago. The president retains the approval of 89% of Republicans, but just 35% of independents.
Okay, 35%. That's what I wanted to hear. The Republican Party should be paying attention to that here in Minnesota because that's the 35% from independents. Those are the people you need right now in your corner. Yeah. You need to get their support and their trust if you want to get Walz out of office.
And if you want to beat Walz, you cannot hitch your dreams to Trump. Not in this state.
Thank you.
Follow-up to a story yesterday. A 16-year-old boy is suspected of posting a series of threats to social media, which impacted a half dozen high schools in the South Twin Cities suburbs yesterday.
We have more coming on that up after the news, John.
Okay. Yeah. Classes were canceled. We told you about it yesterday for the day at high schools in Apple Valley, Burnsville, Eagan, and Rosemount after police were notified around 6:45 p.m. Monday of multiple concerning messages posted online that referenced possible harm directed at several schools. The teen was arrested, taken to the Dakota County Juvenile Detention Center. He could face now formal charges in the incident. He was arrested after they executed a search warrant in Eagan. No weapons were found at the teen's residence. The case, according to Apple Valley PD, involved multiple school districts, law enforcement agencies, and impacted thousands of students, staff, and families. City leaders of Minneapolis have reached a budget agreement after weeks of debate. In a joint statement, Mayor Jacob Fry and City Council President Aisha Chugtai announced the passage of a budget for 2026. Even this was handled in a bit of an odd way. Multiple council members didn't know if a meeting was even going to be held late into the afternoon yesterday. When it was time to begin. When it was time to begin, some necessary city staff had already gone home for the day, and they had to come back to City Hall, delaying the meeting by nearly an hour. The main reason for the meeting, despite the budget being passed by the council last week, was to address any possible vetoes from Mayor Fry. But to avoid a veto, the mayor said he passed the budget with the understanding that council would make a few adjustments, an agreement he made with council leadership through the course of several meetings over the last month or so. That clearly caught some council members by surprise. A main sticking point was how to fund emergency housing vouchers to support the homeless population. The council planned to take money from police to pay for part of it, but one of the amendments passed restores $1 million in funding to the police department and prevents cutting staff from the mayor's office. Council member Robin Wansley said the late talks undermined all their work and public input on the budget that they agreed to. She said, adding to her biggest concern is that the amendment eliminates a longer-term commitment to the housing vouchers that the original had.
By the way, the city, Minneapolis and Hennepin County, will never, ever solve the homeless crisis. Really interesting piece in the Sahan Journal this week that GLers should look up and read if you're interested in it. Headline in 2023, Hennepin County vowed to end chronic homelessness by now. What happened?
It's only increased.
Yep.
What do you think is more true? That they went home early for the day, or that the fact that they probably didn't even show up in the first place? They were just working from home.
Boy, that's a tough one.
That's a really good
That's 50-50, I think.
Roll the dice.
Oh, there's a meeting today?
Yeah.
Well, I'm just pulling into my driveway as he's sitting there in his jammies.
These were
watching
budget
SpongeBob.
considerations. Do you think Ellison got somebody to buy him an airplane ticket?
Hey, I'm in Boston.
Yeah.
I can't be bothered with this.
Well, remember the original vote last week? He was not there,
Right.
for the original budget vote. Yeah. So, a man has been charged after people reported seeing him dragging a dead body over the weekend in Richfield. 25-year-old Yusuf Salat faces 1 count of second-degree murder, 1 count of first-degree drug possession. Police responded in the 7600 block of Knox Avenue South on a report of a possible body being dragged out of an apartment on Saturday. According to court documents, officers went into the building, found suspected blood splatter on the ground and the wall. The 911 caller told police that she saw a man carrying a woman who was bleeding and appeared to be deceased. She said she told the man to stop, but he left anyway. Officers followed the blood splatter and found an apartment with blood on the door. Inside, they found a large amount of blood on the carpet and the wall. Investigators found the car the suspect left the apartment in, which was speeding and ran a red light. The driver, identified as Salat, later stopped at an emergency room entrance of a hospital. A deceased woman was found in the backseat of the car. Salat originally said the woman had shot herself, but an autopsy showed she'd been shot in the back of her left shoulder, and the bullet had pierced her liver. Another witness in the apartment building said he was asleep when he heard a pounding on his door. He saw an unresponsive woman. A man dragged the woman up the stairs and stuffed her, that's his words, into a vehicle. Investigators found a gun in the snow outside the balcony of the apartment. A 9mm magazine was found in the trash bag on the balcony, and casings were recovered nearby. According to court documents, investigators also found nearly 1,300 grams of marijuana and 71.56 grams of cocaine in the apartment. Why don't we take a quick break here? National, international news right after we hear from Mr. Olson.
No, John, not Mr. Olson. I prefer from this point forward, you refer to me as Seafoam Santa.
Whoa.
Yeah. Seafoam Santa is here. And I want to talk about the perfect gifts for you this Christmas. Get your spouse, kids, grandkids, I don't know, mom and dad. Get them the perfect trio of gifts this season. The big 3 Seafoam products that will make your life, their lives, a lot easier and happier. Starting with the big one, the Seafoam Motor Treatment. It's the answer to poor starting and bad running engines. It cleans, it rejuvenates, and preserves. The Seafoam Deep Creep, number 2 on the list, a premium grade shop lubricant that creeps deeper, works harder, and lasts longer. That kind of sounds like me, actually. Quickly cutting through the rust and buildup of all kinds to loosen, lubricate, and protect parts and mechanisms. And finally, the third one, my favorite, the Bugs Be Gone. What a delight it is to have Bugs Be Gone in our lives. It makes the one time, it was consuming, it was aggravating, it was hateful trying to move these bugs and other organic material. Actually, it makes it fun and easy now. You spray it on, you watch it work for a few minutes, then wash it off with ease, and the bugs be gone. There you go. A trio of perfect Christmas gifts courtesy of your Seafoam Santa.
It's that time of the season when the football games really matter and you can get in all the action with Underdog. It's so easy to play on Underdog. All you have to do is pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like receptions, rushing yards, touchdowns, and much more. You get your picks right, you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. This week on Underdog, I'm looking at some running backs to go higher on touchdowns. That would be maybe Josh Jacobs of the Packers or whichever Lions running back sounds good. They're both doing great, scoring a lot. It could be Gibbs or Montgomery. Download the app today and use promo code GARAGE to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code GARAGE. Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
Naked Gun. Right. Stop calling Shirley.
You cannot stop him. He'll just make a move. Joe Souchere.
We are nuts. Are we? And we are nuts.
This is an adult daycare right here. And we're not even getting funded.
No, we're not, because we're nuts. And you know what? You're going to be entertaining this time of the year. So you know what? Stock up on the best hand batch made snacks right here in the great state of Minnesota. I had about 5 jars of cinnamon toffee peanuts, and they're gone because I've got 2 hooligans in my home that wolf them all down. So I'm in store for a reload, and I got to get the cashews. I got to get the maple bourbon toffee almonds, of course, the cinnamon toffee peanuts, but also don't forget about the hokey pokey popcorn. Gabe did me a number and wolfed down the entire caramel apple hokey pokey popcorn.
Nice.
But you can go online and place that order at wearenutsmn.com, and please let them know that you heard about them on GL, but also now available at all Coburn's locations, Cub Foods, Lunds and Barley's, Kowalski's Markets, Fratelloni's Hardware and Garden Stores, and Quick Trip. A wonderful family-owned operation, and they are the absolute best. Let them know that you heard about We Are Nuts right here on the Garage Logic Podcast.
4 centrist Republicans broke with Speaker Mike Johnson this morning and signed on to a Democratic-led petition that will force a House vote on extending for 3 years an enhanced pandemic-era subsidy that lowers health insurance costs for millions of Americans. The very surprising move comes after House Republican leaders pushed ahead with a health care bill of their own that doesn't address the monthly premiums that are going up for millions of people. Democrats led by Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York needed 218 signatures to force a floor vote on the bill, which would extend the subsidies for 3 years. Republican Representatives Brian Fitzpatrick, Robert Bresnahan, and Ryan McKenzie, all of Pennsylvania, and Mike Lawler of New York signed on this morning, pushing it to the magic number of 218. A vote on the subsidy bill could come as soon as January under House rules.
John, do we know why President Trump is speaking to the nation tonight?
We don't. That actually is my next story,
All
Joe.
right.
Thank you for leading my... People probably think we planned this, but we don't.
I can assure you.
President Trump.
I can tell you there's a lack of show prep.
Not from me, there isn't.
I mean, as a group.
President Trump said he will deliver a primetime address to the nation live from the White House tonight. The subject of the address was not revealed, although a post from the president and comments from White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt seem to indicate it will be somewhat of a roundup for President Trump, a campaign rally affair, sort of. Trump writing on his Truth Social, my fellow Americans, I will be giving an address to the nation tomorrow night live from the White House. I look forward to seeing you then. It's been a great year for our country, and the best is yet to come. Leavitt said the president will discuss his accomplishments since taking office in January and what he plans to do over the course of the next 3 years. The address will be from the diplomatic reception room, not the Oval Office, and that address, our time, will be at 8 this evening.
Well, is this more deflection from another supposed release of Epstein files that the third rail loves to tease us with? I'm at the point where, we were at this point 3 months ago. I don't care anymore. You've worn us out. You've succeeded.
And
we don't care.
Rob Reiner alone.
Yeah.
You don't have to touch it.
The deadline's Friday, right? Isn't that when they're allegedly supposed to?
I can't.
Yeah, I understand.
Gets them all choked up. Yeah.
Maybe it's his Venezuelan plan for stealing oil.
What I would love to see is if he gathered the camera and all the people and gave us a tour of the new ballroom that's going on.
Oh, that'd be nice. I'd like to see architectural plans.
Have you ever visited a house that's midway through construction and the walls are up, the sheetrock isn't on? I love that sort of stuff.
John, you mentioned election or campaign, I think is the word that you used. He is aware he can't run again, right?
Yeah, but he likes to tout
He likes
things.
to think he can.
Yeah, he touts.
The problem is he's become must-watch television because you have no idea what he'll end up talking about.
That's very true.
Yeah.
250 years ago, our Lord and Savior.
On Easter.
We're going to make it Great Friday.
I'm looking forward to it myself.
Our Air Force stopped the British from bombing all the airport.
Kenny, isn't it you that years ago just said you picture a laugh track? Like underneath when because he's baiting everybody.
It's the things, I guess, it's maybe a problem with Kenny, but the things that make the rest of the country angry in relation to President Trump delight me. I think it's just hysterical and funny. His speeches where he doesn't look at the prompter and you just don't know what he's going to say next. It's so much fun.
It's Wing It Wednesday.
Yeah.
Wing It Wednesday. Yeah. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said yesterday the Pentagon will not publicly release unedited video of that U.S. military strike that killed 2 survivors of an initial attack on a boat allegedly carrying cocaine in the Caribbean, as questions mounted in Congress about the incident and the overall buildup of U.S. military forces near Venezuela. Hegseth said members of the Armed Services Committee in the House and Senate would have an opportunity this week to review the video, but did not say whether all members of Congress would be allowed to see it as well. Senators on both sides of the aisle said officials left them in the dark about the president's goals when it comes to Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro or sending U.S. forces directly to the South American nation. Senator Rand Paul, a Kentucky Republican and outspoken critic of the campaign, said the American public ought to see it. I think shooting unharmed people floundering in the water, clinging to wreckage is not what we are as a people. John Yo is a Berkeley law professor who helped craft the Bush administration's legal arguments and justification for aggressive interrogation after September 11th, said if it's not a war against Venezuela, then we're using armed force against civilians who are just committing crimes. Then this worry becomes really pronounced. You're shooting civilians, and there's no military purpose for that.
John, the soft bigotry of low expectations. Michael Gerson wrote that for George W., who was to make a speech to the NAACP in 2006. And in that speech, he brings up the low expectations of the soft bigotry of low expectations in the sense he was telling the assembled that you are not being treated fairly when little is expected of you. You're being made less than. Right. We've been on that now on this show for many, many years. Michael Gerson and W were way ahead of the curve, weren't they?
Very. He's
no longer with us. I looked him up today and read a lot about him, and he died very young. He was born in, I don't know when he was born. He was born in 1964. He died in 2022. He's only 58 when he died. He's a hell of a speechwriter. But that's the history of the soft bigotry of low expectations was the President of the United States pointing out exactly what's wrong. And that's, you're not treating people equally. You're cutting them too much slack because you don't think they can do it. B as in B, S as in S, everybody can do it. Thank you, John, for that interruption.
Yep. Yes. In news that will send some shockwaves across the entertainment industry, the Oscars, which have aired for decades on ABC, are moving to YouTube starting in 2029.
You gotta be kidding me.
And will be broadcast by the streamer through at least 2033, according to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences.
Wow.
ABC will continue to air the Oscars through the 100th edition of the award show in 2028. After that, the ceremony will be available live and for free to over 2 billion people around the world on YouTube and to YouTube TV subscribers in the U.S. According to internal financial documents from the Academy, the Oscars brought in just over $150 million in revenue this past fiscal year, which ended June 30th. TV rights from Disney accounted for most of that revenue. As part of the newly inked deal, YouTube will broadcast not only the Oscar ceremony itself, but also red carpet coverage, behind-the-scenes content, and in news that will excite those who have lamented their inability to watch more of the ceremony, at which the lesser Oscars are given, the Governor's Awards. It'll also cover the Governor's Awards.
Oh, good. I'd like to see those.
I found your headline there humorous, and I thought, finally, we've gotten rid of it. And then I realized, wait a minute, dum-dum, you pay $82.99 a month for YouTube TV.
The only thing I thought is by 2029 won't be pretty much out of people who might even be interested.
Yeah, why does anybody care as these people celebrate themselves and then preach at us when they go up to get their awards?
If Ricky Gervais was the host, I'd watch it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ricky, what's normally on that night on ABC? Is that a Dancing with the Stars night, or is that a American Idol night?
No, Tuesday is Dancing with the Stars.
Got it.
American Idol's a little bit later on.
The Oscars
That's on Channel
Tuesday?
9.
I don't even know.
Matthew, when is Mountain Men on?
I don't know that I've...
What about Oak Island?
Oak Island is one they're looking for some kind of treasure.
That's the worst show that's ever been on television.
No, you're getting distracted. I just want to be a TV guide. When is it on, Matthew?
That's on Wednesday nights on Discovery History.
John, thank you.
That's not one of your hand-holding shows.
John, thank you.
The renovations, the home renovations,
we don't have to,
is on Thursdays.
Do we have someone else that needs to say something?
Yeah, we do actually. We have me.
The quite nice.
But the newsman has to say something.
Oh.
Listen up, okay?
Yeah.
I got your perfect gift solution. A personal touch from Aura Frames. That's AURA. It might be tough. You did.
Yeah.
Joe did it. I have one. I love mine. We got ours a couple months ago, well before the holiday season. Filled it full of pictures and videos, probably up around 800 of them, and it's really, really easy to do. All you have to do is download the Aura app, connect it to your Wi-Fi, and you can do that anytime you want. You can go to the Aura app right now and load all your photos in there, and then once you get the frame, boom, hit a button. They're all added to it. It's a huge photo album on steroids, basically. And for a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com to get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver Matte Frames. That's named #1 by Wirecutter. To get your money off, use the promo code GL at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code GL. The deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast, so order yours now to get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Again, use the code GL at checkout. Terms and conditions apply.
You're potted down. No, we're not.
Well...
Were we off the air during that chat? Oh, now we're back? well, what the hell? That's pretty good.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine.
Yesterday,
Joe Souchere.
You could have gone to garagelogic.com, type in the keyword auction, and you could have seen the wonderful, wonderful bids that are out there. Well, people are bidding, but there's also wonderful. There's EcoFund, there's Drive a Tank, there's garage floor coating, all sorts of great stuff. A $500 storage shed certificate. You can get all those on the Garage Logic auction. You got to go to garagelogic.com. You type in keyword auctions. There's hotel stays, all sorts of great stuff. But you know what? Here's the sad thing. It ends tomorrow at 8 p.m. So this is the last full day you can get it. Otherwise, you got to get in there before 8 o'clock tomorrow. It is the Garage Logic Holiday Online Auction. It's at garagelogic.com, and you type in the keyword auction, and you can save. Tell me about yesterday. What did we do?
What?
Hello?
I love when he listens and telling him.
No, I'm listening, but I don't know what the hell we did yesterday.
You started out with yesterday. We talked about bigotry.
I thought we were still doing the ad.
No, you were done.
Yesterday we learned that classes at Rosemount, Apple Valley, and Egan High Schools were canceled due to a threat, and it's been solved. A 16-year-old has been arrested. No one has come to any harm. So today I can say what I wanted to say yesterday. but I wouldn't have yesterday because it was a very serious matter. It still is, but the child who instigated this is under arrest. Could you please reread the texts that we were made privy to yesterday? These were the threats the schools received.
Correct. The first one said, "See y'all soon." See y'all all soon. The second one was, "If they don't want to take us seriously, that's on them if they want to die."
Okay, I didn't know what that meant. What's the next one?
I heard someone said they was using Eastview High School an app.
This kid can't write a coherent sentence. They was using Eastview High School and Apple Valley High School as a distraction. He may have had to look that up. And they was going to... This kid can't write, yeah.
They was going to shot it up on a
Shot it up.
day.
The word is shoot.
So people think it's a false alarm. That someone was me. The reason myself and my people didn't do it today, because it would have been obvious and predictable. We need you to be scared of us.
He might as well have said, "I have a gub."
I have a gub, yes.
He might as well have said
Does this look like gub or gun?
It's a gub. It's a gun.
Gun, see?
Gun, see?
But what's app mean?
Act, A-C-T, act natural. Please put $50,000 into this bag. Act natural. It's not...
Oh, I see. This is a holdup.
Yes.
May I see your gun?
Now, continue.
That's the next one. We have been giving y'all warnings. This is y'all last one before we do something. The next one says Apple Valley. It tells you the dates that this stuff's going to go down. The next one, the reason we doing this is to send a message. After we do the first one, we are hoping y'all will take us seriously. Each group is the amount of people who goes to that school, and they say that the next groups. And then the last one is, what should I shoot up AVHS? With this handgun or with this handgun?
This is an indictment of the failed academy.
Yeah.
These kids are illiterate. They cannot write coherent sentences. They probably are not doing a lot of reading in school. This is a prime example of the failed academy. Whoever that kid's English teacher is should be ashamed of himself or herself. This kid can't write.
Y'all should be ashamed.
Yeah, y'all should be.
This person chimes in with, yes, they caught the kid and no one knows who it is, but the fact that he kept saying we still has the kids wondering if there are more out there. I trust the police, but...
he might have said we because he thinks of himself as a group.
And the unfortunate timing of moving things around in the school. Update for the day. This person went to school this morning and said many students were not at school. There was also a rumor that something was going to happen at 10 a.m. At 10:02, the class on the second floor moved some furniture around loudly, and it scared the daylights out of her and all the friends. So she just went home.
I think you're looking at this the wrong way. This is clearly an indication that we are just not spending enough on education in the state.
Do you think more money would solve
it?
this?
Maybe you're right, Chris.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But you can see why that reckless speculation of mine yesterday was all based on his inability to speak the English language.
Right. Your speculation that it was a bot was highly justifiable.
I was
highly
nodding.
Plausible.
I was nodding. Yeah, okay, Kenny, I'll buy it.
But it's not. It's some kid who's not studying. He's not. Nothing is expected of him. He's not reading. He can't write. I'm sure. I don't know if he could spell. I didn't read the text.
Is y'all supposed to be YALL, or isn't there apostrophe in there?
I think all kids, regardless of skin color, use the term y'all now in high school.
I use it a lot.
Yeah, y'all.
Well, this is actually a perfect opportunity for me to plug Krabby today because you mentioned Jay Coles earlier. Jay is the new co-host of Krabby, and let me tell you, it's been wonderful. And we had a guest scheduled. We still do, a guy named Mike King, who does a podcast called Profiling Evil. He delves into criminal cases from around the world, peeling back the layers of human behavior to reveal what drives evil. So, and I have a number of questions for him about some recent cases here in the United States in the last 5 years, particularly mass shootings and what what leads to these and the motives and everything behind that. And then Jay this morning came up with another guest, a fella named Eric O'Neill. He's a former FBI counterterrorism and counterintelligence operative, and we're going to talk about the Brown University shooter who has yet to be found.
That's spooky.
And now an MIT death by shots.
Yeah, so that's the topic of today's Krabby.
As you heard about the MIT thing, didn't you immediately think, wonder if this has anything to do with the fella they're looking for?
I thought, but we have no evidence that there's a Yeah, but I thought that.
Yeah, me too, immediately.
Only because they come to us all the way from...
Already? This show flew by. Joe, nice job today. I commend you.
Because...
full of information.
This show, these items are brought to you by the traveling linemen who are on Kaiwaka, New Zealand.
Wow.
They're off the boat.
They're far away, man.
They're in some beautiful territory.
Those have to be some picturesque sunsets, man.
I don't want to work ahead here, Joe, but I hope you notice on the first one we have the recent.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Yeah, see?
Well, and prior to that, we learned that Jessica, that's Jessica Lyman, used to work with Ruth Stricker Dayton. Oh. She was the wife of Bruce Dayton, father of Governor Mark Dayton. Bruce owned a home on the island of Anguilla, where the GL podcast is number one.
No.
Maybe singer Jeff Dayton, a cousin to these Daytons, can arrange a tour or a place to stay if you do the podcast from there. We were going to have Jeff phoning in from Anguilla, but he can't make it this weekend.
It's not going to work, yep.
And so it was on this day.
Joe, today is December 17th.
And this name should ring a bell with y'all.
Y'all.
Okay.
1839. Newton H. Winchell was born in New York. As Minnesota's state geologist, Winchell published 24 reports on the state's geology and paleontology. His research involved describing the movement of St. Anthony Falls from its origins near Fort Snelling to its present location, an event requiring an estimated 8,000 years. He died in 1914.
Now, he was the guy Jeff talked about,
That's
right?
why his name should be familiar to you.
And
Jeff told us that's his great-great-grandfather or something, Newton H. Winchell?
Yes.
He found and named taconite.
Yes.
And our own geologist, Stacy, said he's very, very famous in that sort of...
He's a big deal in the world of rocks.
Yeah, right.
And this day...
December 17th.
In 1915, the Mesaba Transportation Company of Hibbing was incorporated. Owners Andrew G. Anderson and Carl Eric Wickman transported passengers and freight from Hibbing to destinations in Alice and Grand Rapids. A subsidiary company, the Mesaba Motor Company, was incorporated on October 23, 1919, to build, repair, and sell buses. Through various mergers, these companies eventually became Greyhound Lines, headquartered in Chicago.
Love that.
Wow.
On this day,
December 17th.
In 1942, the Elizabeth Kenny Institute for the Treatment of Infantile Paralysis was dedicated in Minneapolis. Sister Kenny, an Australian nurse, came to the United States to promote her ideas about treating polio using physical therapy and hot packs rather than the traditional method of complete immobilization. Her work with a patient, Henry Haverstock Jr., in his Minneapolis home brought her techniques increasing attention. Kenny was the first woman, other than a first lady, to be declared the most admired woman in a Gallup poll, and Congress granted her free access to the United States without a passport, a rare honor. She died in Australia on November 30, 1952.
Is Sister Kenny and Courage Kenny affiliated with one another?
I would imagine so.
Okay.
On this day,
Joe, today is December 17th.
In 1966, Richard C. Lillihei, brother of C. Walton Lillihei, and William Kelly of the U of M hospitals performed the world's first successful kidney and pancreas transplant. Do we have a time for a joke?
Oh, boy.
We were doing
a transplant joke?
kind of. Well, it's a religious joke.
Okay, yeah, we do.
It's a religious joke. I was reminded of it with Sister Kenny.
Hey.
So a Franciscan and a Dominican priest were arguing vehemently about which order was better.
Who's number one?
Who's number one?
Competitive edge.
The Dominicans or the Franciscans. And they got to the point where they almost exchanged blows.
Oh, my.
And they became suddenly embarrassed and realized this is not behavior we should be engaged in. Here's how we'll settle it. Let's write a letter to God and ask him who's the better order, the Franciscans or the Dominicans. And so they compose a very elegant letter, and they leave it on the altar of, Dear God, we humbly ask you to answer for us the question we've been struggling with, which is the better order. We apologize for the embarrassing tussle we were in. We stopped ourselves, and we turn this matter over to you. Could you please solve this? And the next day, there was an answer to the letter.
How about that? Usually God doesn't right away respond immediately like that.
Matt. And this is a true story.
Right.
And so God wrote, Dear Franciscans and Dominicans, thank you for your letter. I greatly appreciate it. I want you to know that you're both held in high esteem. You both do an equal amount of work. You should not fret over your status. You're both very important.
He's God playing in the middle of the road here, huh?
And signed, in the name of Christ, God, S.J. Anybody get the joke?
God,
S.J.
Society of Jesuits. So it was God saying,
Yes,
I'm a Jesuit.
okay. Yeah,
You two
exactly.
are nothing.
You got
See, I knew that joke wouldn't work very well, but I wanted
the
to do it
Jesuits
anyway.
move around a lot.
I liked it. I liked it.
They're moving.
The Jesuits think they're the best, and here were the Franciscans. See, any priest listening will work that one.
Father
in the
Malone
room.
is laughing.
Somebody will
Father
work that in the
Jengdahl
room.
thinks it's hilarious.
Yeah. Yours in Christ, God,
Yes,
SJ. See.
Anyway, where were we?
This day in sports disappointment
hero.
history.
Oh, God.
On this day,
Joe, today is December 17th.
God,
in 1961, the Lakers returned for an exhibition game.
Who'd they play?
Wow.
It doesn't say. On this day,
the Washington Generals.
on this day,
December 17th.
in 1984, Les Steckel was fired and replaced by Bud Grant.
That's right.
You had the scoop.
Well, that's what you say.
No, they had the scoop that
That was the Dark Star scoop.
quitting again.
This day,
December 17th.
in 2010, a dark day in Twins history.
Oh, how dark was it?
Nishioka
I was going to say,
signed.
I think it was Nishioka. Yeah.
Yikes.
Did they send us the wrong Nishioka?
They sent the wrong guy here. This guy wasn't any good. On this day,
December 17.
in 2016, the Wolves blew a 7-point lead with 45 seconds left, but we don't know who they were playing.
Reeves?
Which is not Tom Lyman's fault. This is how these things were
I
printed.
would have excluded that with.
And that concludes the CSJ, Society of Jesuits.
SJ, you say, huh?
SJ.
Was I correct? Wasn't God a sports hero of the day?
Yeah.
Here's today's sports hero, God.
God, he had some good
A lot of
decades
you
back
had a
then.
rough decade. A lot of people didn't believe in you.
What was it? The East Coast writers didn't even think you existed in the first place.
East Coast writers wouldn't even give you a vote.
Now you got Jerry Falwell swinging a big bat for you. Jerry Falwell
One of Guy
swinging a
Green's
big
greatest.
bat for you.
Thank you, GLers.
Please do us a favor. Hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel. That's right. Garage Logic has a YouTube channel, and you can watch the show each and every single day, starting right around noon. And you can also see full segments, video shorts, behind-the-scenes footage. It's all there for you. Just search Garage Logic on YouTube, along with all of our social media channels, which includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And also, sign up for the Daily Logician. That's an email that comes right to your inbox each and every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today at GarageLogic.com.
Yeah, we should also throw in a plug for Stephen C. His music tomorrow night at 7.
That's right.
Friday at 2, and then Friday at 7. You go to Eventbrite or StephenCmusic.com.
At the Cathedral.
Yes.
It is time once again that we check in with our guy, Mr. Money Talk. Josh Arnold is with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And now is the time for you to do the same. So do not delay. Do exactly what I did and pick up that phone and dial 952-925-5608. That number once again is 952-925-5608. When you call that number, you're going to get Josh. And he is there for you for that free, yes, I use the word free, 48-minute financial consultation with absolutely zero obligation. And he will always give you the straight talk. He will never give you the sugar-coated advice. And he is on the line with us once again right here in Garage Logic. And boy, Josh, I know you're as big a sports fan as I am, and there's a lot of sports news as it relates to the market, but my goodness gracious, the New York Times and Pete Rose, what is going on?
How do you like that? What is going on? See, I'm glad that you are so erudite, Chris, that you read that great liberal newspaper just to get another point of view, the New York Times. You, as I do, get the New York Times not necessarily to read the editorials, which in my estimation are extremely one-sided, but I get the New York Times at home, the paper edition, because I still like that tactile feel of the paper and sitting down every morning or even throughout the day and going back and reading articles. And it's not just the New York Times I get, it's the Wall Street Journal. Well, in the New York Times sports section today, and I do believe their sports coverage, particularly as individuals, is ahead of most other papers. They bring up Pete Rose with a nice picture of the hit king from 1973 when he's still with the Cincinnati Red Big Machine. Question is whether or not he should be added or admitted to the Hall of Fame based on his baseball ability, not the reason that he was banned from baseball, which was betting on games and even, we'll say, betting on games that he controlled, so to speak, as manager of the Reds. I bring that up because sports betting has really exploded over the last several years, and we can see that with a number of sports books, whether based in Las Vegas at the casinos, such as, we'll say, Wynn or MGM or the MGM brands, Caesars, or the facilities owned by Penn Gaming, or the online betting that you can do on sports through favorite DraftKings or FanDuel owned by Flutter. But recently, and I say recently, at least within the last year and a half, there's been the rise of the prediction markets, and they've gotten a lot of press. Now, the prediction markets go a little bit beyond sports as to predicting, as an example, who might be the next congressman or woman during a special election, or who is going to be the next Fed chief. What are the betting odds there? Who wants to bet on the direction of interest rates or some other event that happens in the prediction markets? And these markets, whether privately owned through Polymarket or Kelsey, or publicly interactive brokers or Robinhood, these markets have been expanding what they do. Robinhood last night announced that you could not only bet on NFL games or make predictions as to the outcome of the games, they're now including parlay bets and other ways to profit from making predictions about what transpires during a game, not just the end of a game. And that's getting into the territory of all of the sports books, in particular some of the, we'll say, profitable or more profitable ways that FanDuel and DraftKings make some money. This movement or further movement to the prediction market has helped boost a very, very volatile and expensive stock, Robinhood. While not trading at a high, Robinhood has been one of the better performers in 2025, and a recent analyst report upped their price target to $155. Stock's currently trading, we'll say, at 122 as we speak. But this stock is like other companies that I have talked about previously. This company is very expensive on both the price to sales and price to earnings basis, but it is just not only in the predictions market, it's involved with cryptocurrency trading, option trading, stock trading, and the company is geared to focus more on younger investors than older investors, and it is very, it is very volatile, but also we'll say very interesting, as a prediction in and of itself and direction of various markets, we'll say in the United States, and how investors, particularly small investors, are acting. Volatility around this name is big, so again, pay attention. Just pay attention to this company and what it is doing, because it could give you some very nice insight into what has been happening in the broad market. What else has been happening in the market? Well, AI names have been getting clobbered recently as large investors start questioning when are we going to get a return on investment with this. So it's more of a, I'll say, not too many months ago it was, got to be an AI, this is going to change the world. Today it's, all these companies are spending a lot of money. Will it pay off? Will the data centers actually get built? How much money are these companies going to be forced to borrow, and at what rate to get these deals completed? Oracle has seen its stock just in the last several months go up, we'll say from $200 a share to a little over $300 just on its foray into data centers and expanding into AI, only to see its stock cut in the last month down to $180 a share on concerns, will they be able to borrow enough money to build out or help build out these data centers? One of their sources of funds, Blue Owl Capital, said today, no, we won't lend you the money for building a data center in Michigan. That's added to the woes of Oracle, and that's unfortunately pushed down other companies within its orbit, including CoreWeave, Core Scientific, Broadcom, and market leader NVIDIA. I still am of the belief AI is not a bubble. We're still in the early innings, but data centers, well, they take a long time to build. I think the market is just realizing that. On the other hand, if I'm looking at, we'll say, data centers, the old line or older companies that have them might be the way to look. And that would include companies like Akamai and favorite Amazon with its Amazon Web Services.
Excellent advice, as always, Mr. Money Talk. You heard him, GLers. Now is the time for you to pick up the phone and to make the call for that free 48-minute financial consultation with zero obligation. And you do that just like I did by dialing 952-925-5608, where you always get straight talk and never, ever sugar-coated advice. Josh, once again, thank you so much for the time and the chat. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Yep, we'll talk more about Pete Rose and baseball.
Sounds good. See you then, Josh.